On last week's episode, I showed you guys how to combine downwards pick slanting with even numbered sequences on every string to create really easy to play fast, shreddy licks on the guitar. On today's lesson, we're going to expand on that concept a little bit more and also talk about some cool tricks you can use to make easy harmonies. Well, hey there kids, and welcome to this week's installment of Weekend Wankshop. Here's your best buddy, Uncle Ben. On last week's episode of the show, I showed you guys 3 different shred strategies that you can employ to start writing some really easy to play fast licks on the guitar. One of the main focal points of that video was the use of downwards pick slanting, which is kind of picking like that right there, combined with using even numbered groupings of notes on every string. Reason being is because whenever you play like 1, 2, 3, 4, that has you ending on an upstroke, which means it's going to be easy to go to the next string. I got a lot of great feedback from that lesson, so I thought I would give you guys some more stuff to work with and show you another way to combine downwards pick slanting with even numbered groupings on the strings. This lick is in the key of A minor, and it kind of travels laterally across the strings up and down the fretboard of the guitar. This is really great to work on if you're trying to break out of those scale patterns that we all end up, kind of boxed into from time to time. We're going to show you guys how to play the lick, and then we're going to talk about the harmony part and how I wrote it, which is just a really simple thirds harmony that has been employed by the metal gods since the dawn of time. But before we get into the lesson, let's hear that lick again at stepdad speed. And as always, you guys can find full tabs over on my Instagram page at Ben Eller Guitar. Search for hashtag Weekend Wankshop 223. Give me a follow. Learn how to play this thing, then upload a video of yourself shredding through it along with the hashtag
Weekend Wankshop.
And of course, if you like what you see in this video, be sure to support me on Patreon over on patreon.com/Ben Eller Guitars. Thanks a bunch. So what you got to remember about downwards pick slanting is that it really favors changing strings after upstrokes, okay? That's kind of its primary superpower. Now what this means is that if you begin with a downstroke and play any even numbered phrase, like 1, 2, 3, 4, it means it's going to be easy to change strings after that because you're ending on an upstroke where we're kind of out and away from the strings like this. You can go to a higher string, you can go to a lower string, whatever. If you play a 2 or a 4 or a 6 or whatever, as long as it's an even number, it means it's going to be easy to change strings. Always got to keep that in mind whenever you're using downward pick slanting and alternate picking together. Now with that in mind, this is all based around 3-note chunks that kind of travel laterally across the neck. And each of these 3-note chunks, like A, B, C, I'm turning into 4 notes by playing them like this. This is nice too because it's just melodically a lot more interesting than playing straight up a scale. So on the high E string here, we're going to have 4 different 3-note groupings and I'm all going to play the same way. The first one here is using A, B, and C, 5, 7, and 8. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play 8, 5, 7, 8. Next I'm going to move into this 3-note chunk, 7, 8, and 10, okay, the B, C, and D notes. And I'm again going to phrase like I did the last one there. I'm going to play 10, 7, 8, 10. Next 3-note cluster here is going to be on 8, 10, and 12. I'm going to phrase it like 12, 8, 10, 12. After that, move up here to the next group, which is 10, 12, and 13, D, E, and F, and phrase it as 13, 10, 12, 13. So now you have this on the high E. Four different positions of 3-note kind of clusters that again we all turn into 4-note groups. Notice how the little finger is in the lead there and responsible for all the position shifts. I always want people to work on improving the power of their little finger. Most people never get good at it because they never use it, but licks like this are a good excuse to put that guy in the front and make him do a little bit of work. Okay, so what I want you to concentrate on with this is that you're picking every single note, there's no slides or anything like that, and really work on downstroking that first note of each group nice and hard. Really accent that thing. Here I'm kind of snapping it. Let's keep my groove a lot tighter and just adding some nice aggression into the lick, so be sure to concentrate on doing it that way. Now after we play up the high E string, we're going to start playing down the B string. We're going to play it like this. Again, it's 3-note clusters, but it's played kind of in the reverse of the way you did the ascending one here. The first finger is going to be in the lead here. We're going to play on the B string here 10, 13, 12, 10. Move down to the next position of the scale here, which is 8, 10, and 12, and give it the same treatment. 8, 12, 10, 8. Then move down to the next position here, which is the same shape. Just move down a whole step. 6, 10, 8, 6. And ending right here on 5, 6, and 8. Same treatment. 5, 8, 6, 8. Again, first finger doing all the shifts right there. Then we're going to climb back up to the G right here. We're going to play 7, 4, 5, 7, 9, 5, 7, 9, 10, 7, 9, 10, 12, 9, 10, 12, okay? Then we're going to walk down the D string here. 9, 12, 10, 9, 7, 10, 9, 7, 5, 9, 7, 9, 3, 7, 5, 3, okay? And then lastly, I ended on that 7th fret D string. The A note just kind of resolved nicely against an A minor sort of sound. So the entire guitar 1 portion of this should sound something like this. That's a spicy meatball. But Uncle Bren, how did you write that cool thirds harmony that the other guitar is playing in the intro? Well, in order to explain that, I'm going to need to utilize the official Weekend Wankshop dry erase board. Writing heavy metal harmony parts in thirds is one of those things that has been around since Jesus was riding on dinosaurs, you know? You've heard bands like Iron Maiden and Metallica do it countless times. If you're one of those cool young kids, you've heard Avenged Sevenfold do it. Pretty much everybody does these, and they're not really hard to write as long as you know what scale you're using. The reason I point that out is because a lot of guitar players think harmony just means play the same thing as me but on a different string, or 5 frets up or 7 frets up. Sometimes that's cool and that works. That usually results in what we call a non-diatonic harmony, one that kind of breaks out of the scale, where the two guitars don't necessarily speak the same language, but it sounds cool. That's kind of your typical like Slayer or Mastodon harmony, But we're talking about pure diatonic harmony here. So like I said, you're gonna need to start off by knowing what scale you're using. This lick is based around the A minor scale, which is really easy because it's just a musical alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Simple as that. Now, understanding thirds harmony is really simple if you just look at it as a game of musical leapfrog, okay? If you're here on A, then your buddy needs to leapfrog over a note and be on C. If you're on the B note right here, your buddy needs to leapfrog over and be on D. It's always like that. Just hop over a note and you're on the note that you should be on. Sometimes it's gonna be 2 whole steps away, sometimes it's gonna be 1.5 steps away. That's part of what makes this sound so cool, is the variety. So again, if you're on E, your buddy needs to be on G. If you're on F, your buddy needs to be on A. Just leapfrog over a note. Before you know it, you're writing sick harmony. Now what I've got right here on the whiteboard is again that A minor scale that this is all based on, so we can play our leapfrog game. And the first couple phrases that guitar 1 played, C, A, B, C was the first set of notes, D, B, C, D was the next set of notes. Now, anymore whenever I'm writing harmony parts for guitar, it's like I know the scales and stuff well enough to where I don't really have to do it this way, but I remember way back in the day whenever I first started learning about scales and things, it really benefited me just to write down the notes of what I was playing on a piece of paper, write down the scale here on the bottom, and then see how the harmony worked, note by note, okay? A little tedious at first, but just like everything, you're learning, right? That's part of the entire learning process. So don't worry about it if you need to bust out yon scribing tool to make your own harmony parts work. It's totally okay. You'll get faster with it as time goes by. Now, let's take a look at the first line right here. C, A, B, C. Now again, guitar number 2 is gonna leapfrog that. The C is gonna be harmonized with an E. Again, you can see I just jumped over right there. E. The A note right here is gonna be harmonized with a C note. Boom. Our B note, again, leapfrog, is gonna be harmonized with a D. And we already solved this one. C gets harmonized with E. Now the next phrase that we run into here is D, B, C, D, okay? And again, if you just look down here at your board, you can play your little Leapfrog game. D gets harmonized with F. B gets harmonized with D. C, as we learned over here, gets harmonized with E. And just like we did a second ago, D gets harmonized with F. So you can see how everything just ends up 3 letters ahead of the musical alphabet, right? A, B, C, B, C, D, C, D, E. That's why we call it thirds, y'all. It's always 3 ahead in the dang alphabet. So guitar 2's parts are gonna go like this. We're gonna start off here on 12, 8, 10, 12, 13, 10, 12, 13, 15, 12, 13, 15, 17, 13, 15, 17. Then we're gonna go down the B here. 13, 17, 15, 13, 12, 15, 13, 12, 10, 13, 12, 10, 8, 12, 10, 8. Then we're gonna walk up to the G right here. We're gonna go 10, 7, 9, 10, 12, 9, 10, 12, 14, 10, 12, 14, 16, 12, 14, 16. And then on the D here, we're gonna play 12, 15, 14, 12, 10, 14, 12, 10, 9, 12, 10, 9, 7, 10, 9, 7. And then lastly, ending on the 10th fret here of the D string, the C note to harmonize with the A that guitar number 1 landed on. That's a lot of notes. Let's play that again here. Now another thing I would encourage you guys to do is to take that, 3 turns into 4 kind of idea we had, and just try taking that across an entire string, maybe like this. That's kind of an Yngwie staple. I think I did a video based around that years ago on Weekend Wankshop. You could also just descend down a single string. And the great thing is because those are all sequences of 4, you could randomly change to any other string at any other point. You could walk up one string a really long time, then as soon as you're done with the 4-note phrase, change strings, walk down it for a while. Sky's the limit really with that stuff. If you're a downward pickslanting player like I tend to be most of the time, as long as you make a conscious effort to phrase stuff in even numbers, 2s, 4s, 6s, 8s, you'll always have an easy time changing strings in either direction, walking up or down the fretboard of that dang guitar. Thank you guys as always for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for new videos coming at you every single week. You all can follow me on Instagram at Ben Eller Guitars or on my Facebook fan page at facebook.com/Uncle Ben Eller. If you like what you've seen on this lesson, please consider supporting me over on Patreon, patreon.com/Ben Eller Guitars. Even $1 a month goes a long way, so I really appreciate any help you can give me. Be sure to drop me some comments below letting me know what you guys would like to see featured on future installments of Weekend Wankshop. Now get away from this dang old computer and go play some guitar. Less clicking, more picking.